Hi folks, Keith Roberts from Edwards, Virginia Smokehouse, and today I'm coming to you from the Edwards family kitchen on the banks of the James River. And what we're going to do is talk a little bit about one of our most popular items, the Petite cooked boneless country ham. Now, as with all of our country hams, they're hand rubbed with a dry salt cure. They rest on that for 30 days. They go into the spring room to balance out and equalize for about 3 weeks. They're hickory smoked for a week, and then this particular ham is aged back for a minimum 210 days. Brings a really nice edgy flavor profile to it. The salt still isn't overly strong in any way, shape, or form. Good fermentation, and just a wonderful addition to any meal throughout the entire year. Now when the Petite comes in, you'll see it comes in a classic Edwards logo cloth bag. We're kind of known for that in the country ham world with the cloth bags. And as far as opening, it's real simple. Quick little pair of scissors, give it a little snip on the cloth, tie it around the top, and as you slide it out, you'll notice that it's wrapped in its own cryovac pack. And this is something that helps along with shelf life as far as storage and everything else as far as we're shipping. As far as opening the pack itself, it's really simple. You can either use the pair of scissors. I personally like using a decent knife. It just seems to work a little bit better. Cut along the edge, and the ham itself will roll right out. And one really nice thing about this particular ham is we take all the work out of it for you. Some people just aren't really comfortable with cooking off a whole bone-in, uncooked ham, and I get that. I understand that. And that's one of the reasons why we brought the Petite into play. As you can see, it sets right out on your cutting board very nicely. As far as slicing it yourself, it's really important to keep a good grip on this thing, and most importantly, to have a good sharp knife. Now, you don't need to go out and spend $240 on a really good quality knife. You can find some very reasonably priced, but the key is to make sure you have a really good edge. Because as with any country ham, you want to make sure you slice it as thin as you possibly can. Slicing itself is really very simple. I do like to start off by giving myself a good cutting edge. These butt ends, they're great to chop up. You can cook with them. You can chop them up into a great deviled ham salad. But as you can see, I have a really nice flat surface to work with. And the key is to just work along and slice as thinly as you possibly can. Not quite paper thin, but with country hams, if you slice it a little too thick, it might be a little intense for some folks. And you can see how easily this thing slices back. And again, some of that has to do with the ham itself, a lot of it has to do with the knife. Now, as far as prep instructions, or some menu suggestions, since it is fully cooked, you can pretty much start with it from right there. I've done a couple of quick appetizer selections today. We have our classic sweet potato biscuit with country ham. You can never go wrong with that. Great if you add a little butter or perhaps a fruit preserve. And then the almighty classic melon wrap with ham. You can never go wrong. It's a really nice combination of the sweet, the salt, the smoke, the pork, and then you work in those natural sugars of the fruit. They really balance out very nicely. Now this ham, since it is fully cooked, if you are going to heat it up, do it in a gentle oven. I recommend about 225 and only for about 20 minutes. You really just need to warm it up or else the salt will really pop, kind of overpower a few things. Goes beautifully with poultry, so it's a great accompaniment to go along with any holiday. Poultry, whether it's turkey, chicken, also goes great with seafood. A lot of people don't realize that, but any fish that has enough fat to it to hold up, so halibut, grouper, stripers coming out of the bay, once you receive it unopened, you'll get a solid 150 days in your fridge or a full year in your freezer. You know, we get an awful lot of questions about what's the best way to store the Petite ham once I open it, and it couldn't be much simpler. Just take a piece of saran wrap, wrap it up really tightly, get as much of the air out as you possibly can, and then I always prefer to double bag it, put it in a Ziploc bag, again squeeze as much of the air out as you can, and then just put it in your fridge. You're going to get a solid 2 weeks out of it, no problem at all. So that's a quick update, a few helpful hints on our Petite country ham. Hope you enjoy it, appreciate the support, and come back and see us the next time.